what this mess is. This is not the highest end, but higher than what you'd find at a typical consumer streaming gear. So the basic setup is, and you can do this with consumer equipment too. This is a Sony XD-Cam EX1 HD camera. And I'll give you cost so you can understand. This is roughly $6,500, not including batteries or anything like that. MacBook Pro. I highly recommend Macs over Windows for mid-level streaming and up. And the reason why is Thunderbolt port. This is my video input-output box.
What'd you call it?
This video input-output, but I'm using it for video in. This converts, on a professional camera, it's HD SDI cable. On a consumer camera, HDMI. This particular box is about $1,500. You can get them for about $250 though. You can get one that's just HDMI, much cheaper. And this, you could use a $300 Canon Vixia, base model instead of something like this. The MacBook Pro doesn't change. I do know people who have used the lower end MacBook Pros, like the 13-inch, which has Thunderbolt, and if you're willing to cut corners, you could even do it on a MacBook Air. But all the Mac laptops have Thunderbolt now. That makes it easy to get. It's replaced DV basically. You still have DV in here, FireWire, but Thunderbolt gives you uncompressed video. So even out of a consumer camera, you will get spectacular quality, especially for live streaming. I record onto a hard drive. Never use the internal hard drive on a laptop because that's also running your operating system. So it could be a FireWire 800 hard drive, or it could be, as more of them come out, a Thunderbolt hard drive. They are fast. I can record HD on that. I will have a wireless mic that I'm set up over there and will receive over here and go into the camera, which I need to double check the settings for. I always monitor the audio on headsets. You monitor any other way, you might get feedback. I also have hooked up is a little webcam. It's a very good webcam. I recommend one of two models. If you're using a Mac, a Logitech C910, you can get them on sale for around $60-65, so it's not a big expense thing.
Isn't there one already on the Mac though?
Not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
If you care about quality, this is better. Yeah, there's a FaceTime camera built in, which is fine if you have nobody. The webcams are not really good for shooting distance, but if I'm going to sit here, if I do an intro or something, they look fine for a close-up shot. So, or if you're sitting here with guests, like next to you, that's good too, But if you're shooting distance, yeah.
If you could also, I know you've got a lot of expensive equipment here, if you could also review what's kind of a bare bones.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
This could be replaced by a 300 camera. This 1,500 box can be
Okay,
replaced
as long as you're
by
sure.
the $250 box, which is HDMI. The MacBook Pro is the MacBook Pro. There are different models. Some people get by with a 13-inch, but you're looking at a price range of around $1,100-1,200 up to the new Retinas up to like $2,800. And yeah, the price does make a difference depending on what you throw into it. It won't affect the quality by itself, but the better the processor, the easier it is for you to do HD. People generally don't stream HD yet because of the bandwidth needed, but I record HD. I don't have to though. So that's a corner that's easy to cut, especially if you're just doing web video. And the hard drive, this hard drive is like $300, and you can get cheaper if you get smaller ones. Yeah.
Are you using a particular kind of software for
Yes,
control,
that's the key.
for the control panel?
You can't see it from over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can turn it on. This is a program called Wirecast.
Wirecast?
Wirecast, made by a company called Telestream, which is actually my biggest client. I consult for them. I do live streaming technical consulting.
That's basically like the control board you might see
Yeah,
in a
this is-
cable access to a studio or something
Yeah,
like that.
this is a switcher in software, which is one less box, to you. You don't have to use an outboard switcher. It does audio and video switching. It will do the compression for the internet, for the web also, and it will record the hard drive. It comes in two versions. The cheaper version is about $500. The more expensive version is about $1,000. There's only a few features different. Most people can just use the $500 version. If you use Ustream, there's a free version. Livestream has a different program, which is also free. The problem with the free versions, you can't switch cameras. It's one camera, and that's it. And sometimes, like right now, I'm already using 2. I have put up to 6 in this. And of course, you look at it and say, where are the 6 inputs? This will handle wireless cameras also. They are wireless devices, anywhere from IP cameras to professional wired. Like the Occupy folks were actually, when they were doing their streaming out in the street, early days.
Laptops, humble beginnings.
That's early, the original,
Early.
not afterwards. After a few months, when they raised money, they bought a device called a Teradek Cube. And they bought, somewhere around 6 or 8 of them. And they got them at a discount, but they were around $1,500 each. You can do one of 2 things. You can stream straight to the internet with them, or if you're using a Wi-Fi signal, they can stream to a program like this, and this will detect them as a camera source.
And what's it called? What are they called?
Teradek Cube.
Cube.
Cube. People just call them Cube.
Q-U-E-B-E, cube. Or C-U-B-E, cube. Yeah, Teradek.
Do you have this description written up somewhere that you could just send around?
I've posted it. I will send it. I've just posted it to the media list and to the DX list, but I will be able to send it around. There's also a media AV list where you don't have to be on the media committee, which are specifically for people who are interested in doing this kind of stuff. It ranges from public access producers to live streaming folks.
Don't some people use like just ordinary like iPhone or something to stream from?
You can do that. There's always a sacrifice in quality when you do it. Although iPhone's not bad, there were tricks to make an iPhone look good. They're little pistol grips, so you don't get the kind of wobbliness.
EX1,
Yeah.
S by S class 10 you're shooting?
Hmm?
Class 10 you're shooting?
Actually, normally I would. This camera, I can.
You're obviously local, right?
Local?
You're Baltimore.
No,
Oh, where'd you come from?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn. I'm located in Bushwick, and my friend Pat, who helps me, is in Bay
Trying to
Ridge.
think, Dallas, what's his name? Were you involved with Dallas at Occupy?
Not Dallas, but I actually spent like a half a day with Lorenzo, and also Vlad.
Glad, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So, I'm shooting a GH2 modified with a hack at 44 megs.
The question about, I know the Nikon 800 can do, what people like to do if you're shooting DSLR, the challenge with any DSLR shooting has always been getting a clean HDMI signal out for live streaming. They're getting closer to it. The Nikon D800, which is an expensive camera, so, well, relatively.
$3,500?
Yeah, right. Has a clean HDMI out. The Canon T4i, which just came out, is almost clean. The problem is the shrunken image, and that's about $900, so it's getting close to affordable. But again, you can just use a Canon Vixia. The advantage of using the DSLRs is that you get depth of field. Yeah.
Have you been
Is it-
following the GH2, what we're doing with the hack from Russia?
She
This
said
is a
she's-
Yep.
$750 body, and it shoots, I've got it set for 44 megs, it'll shoot up to 250 megabytes, and it's kicking the snot out of everything, and it's cheap. And when I edit, I use Sony Vegas Pro. That's a $600 program, it's PC based, and you need some horsepower, at least a quad core, hex core.
i7 quad-core. Yeah, for any editing system, especially since most cameras are shooting compressed codecs these days, AVC HD, right, or an H.264 MP4. This is a quad-core i7. I mean, they've become pretty standard to get quad, but you expect to spend at least, or close to $1,000 for a computer, depending on the macro windows for editing.
Great, what time do you need to start concentrating on getting the live stream going?
Uh,
Make sure we.
What I'm left to do is doing the names, but I can do those on the fly. I've got a few of them
Okay,
entered.
so you want to, about 10 to 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the basic streaming setup. Now, also, there's not just the technical stuff. There are people who can do the live stream, but then they wonder why there's no audience. Key to that is using social media. And this is not just for activist stuff. I do this with my professional clients. I say you must, it's like having a TV station, you're not running promos, and nobody knows your station exists. People tend not to discover you easily. So use Twitter, use Facebook, learn them. I'll go into more how to use them tomorrow, but consider that integral to streaming. My pattern is generally let people know a week advance, a day advance, and then just before on Twitter and Facebook, and use hashtags, and I'll explain more about what that is also. Even if you have very few followers, you can reach a lot of people with proper use of hashtags. There are 3 or 4 commonly used services for streaming. They're free. They have paid versions, but they're free. So basically anything you do other than just the equipment, there's a lot of stuff you can do for free. The free services are Livestream, Ustream, Justin TV people use. Some people use Bamboozer.
Vimeo?
Vimeo doesn't do live. Vimeo is only recorded. I'm doing live.
Is Ustream the letter or the word U?
The letter U-S-T-R. They all have these cute names, and Livestream was originally Mogul-us because they said we are moguls, But that was their thinking, Mogul-us. The problem with the free services, minor problem, is that they run their ads over your, they usually have a roll-in ad at the beginning and then these lower thirds that pop up and obscure your lower thirds. But otherwise they're free, so they're good to use. The pay, if you want to go paid, they range from the cheapest paid services are around $50 a month on up to $300-400 and more. The channel we use, I bartered with Livestream because I provide some technical services for their users, and we have the $300 a month channel. So we don't have any ads. And on those, when you get that, you can do things like you can fundraise. You're allowed to use it to make money from your channel. I mean, commercially, you can actually make money. You can sell advertising on it. But as Greens, we could use it to fundraise. We do not use it enough for fundraise. We can. You can have online fundraising. If you ever had a hard time getting a venue to have a fundraiser, you can have a virtual fundraiser. You can get bands to perform, set up the cameras to perform live, have a hot link, that people can click to donate. There are so many groups who are doing, although they'll have a real venue, who are doing live streaming events, concerts. The new live stream, they have a new service, which is almost all concerts and sports. So there are a lot of uses for live streaming. We don't use it enough. It's the modern day equivalent of handing out flyers. Occupy got to be as big as they did because they did live streaming. The very earliest Occupies, some of them were big, some of them were small. Sometimes 10 or 20 people would show up, but because they were on, they were able to get hundreds of viewers, and in New York City, tens of thousands. And the reason why they started getting media attention is people would say, why doesn't the media is not about fairness, the media is about business, commercial media. But if you're getting 1,000 viewers on your channel when you do an event, the media, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, are saying, that's ratings for us. They don't care about your politics, they just care, if they can bring in all those people to their TV channel, that's when they start covering you. And the way to do it also is to be regular. Some people are event-based. If you can do shows regular, like a public access show, if you do shows weekly, it's not quite as crazy as doing a public access show because the deadline is yours. You don't have to do it every Wednesday at 9 p.m. if you can't, though it's good. But you can, as long as you can let people know like a week in advance. So this Wednesday we're doing a show, we're interviewing guests. The great thing about doing live streaming is the guests don't have to be with you. There are ways to do it with Skype. All these programs, including the free programs, usually have a screen grabber utility that grabs the audio and video from the computer. So someone can Skype call in, and you can be on your little webcam, and you can do a two-shot. And it looks like, you know, it's like if CNN and MSNBC does it. I think MSNBC is using Skype, and one is using telepresence, Cisco telepresence, where, you know, they'll actually get people out in the field to call in on Skype, usually through a wireless connection.
So should every green party organization have its own separate?
Absolutely.
channel?
Every state party should have a channel. Look what happened to Occupy. They had hundreds of channels.
Okay.
Every
So it's better not to go through, it wouldn't make
Well-
sense to go through the national.
Well, if you go through us, you get all our, you know, first of all, it's a premium channel, and you get all our back end, meaning the humans who will go out and do the marketing for you. Because streaming is not a local thing. It's always global. So you get people from all, I mean, it helps you locally, because it builds you up. But you want to get lots of people attracted to your stuff. That's why, like, even when we do the stream like this, I sent out to all the state parties, you know, please embed the stream. Because it's best for you, in your state, to have people to go to your page to see the stream. The national may still be put out, it's still our premium channels, but they're going to your state website. So all this attention is drawn to you, and they get to, and they're drawn to your state party.
So Craig, what you just said basically is a state party can pipe into the national live stream channel?
Yeah, just
Okay.
contact us, and Starline, myself, we usually
Is this your mic?
hook you up. Yeah.
Okay, we need to get the malt box hooked up, so.
Oh, okay.
Anything special?
This is the feed. Are you recording this?
No, not recording this.
Where's the audio coming from?
The audio, well, my audio is that wireless mic is coming into this
Okay,
camera.
to there.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have an in-out there and another feed of that so that we can?
There will be a moat box for the press conference.
I know, that's what we're trying to hook
We're,
up.
we're trying to hook it up. Something's got to feed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't, there's nothing, yeah, you just,
You gotta have input into it, right?
input would be people's microphones, and you power it off the AC if it's got a preamp.
It's either that or they got to use their own mics.
No, you can put one mic, you can put a mic into it, like that mic.
That mic should be going into it.
Yeah, that mic that's sitting there, the one on the, not mine, the other
on the
one.
left.
Yeah, into that, and then everybody takes a feed out of it, yeah,
Goes into the malt box.
yeah,
Should be going in.
yeah.
Where does that? Oh, they already have a malt box. Maybe that's what that is.
Oh,
This is malt box.
yeah. Well, that's a mixer.
Doesn't look the same way.
No, mixer mixer wouldn't have enough outputs. Moat boxes,
So we want to unplug the mic and put it here instead
Yeah.
of the PA. We don't
yeah,
need
you don't
it.
need a PA.
Yeah.
So, they're saying the basic, we use, well, I prefer of the services, I prefer live stream. And the reason why is live stream has a thing called Live Stream Studio,
Okay, so we're going to get them.
which is, and it works with any, it works with Wirecast, what I use. The studio has some additional features, such as crawls. You can make the crawls hyperlinked and lower thirds hyperlinked. In other words, you can put a website on the crawl, so when people click on it, it can take them to a donate page, for example.
Click on the crawl and it may have it work as a link.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
that works.
The crawls in the lower thirds. It can take in,
Well, there's no media.
well, it used to be able to, I'm not sure if it's working there. You'd be able to take in signals from a iPhone or Android phone through a service called Quick, QIK. And you'd send it to Quick, and Quick would send it to Livestream Studio. So you can be in the studio and switch from your camera to switch to a reporter in the field, for example, who's using their iPhone.
We're gonna need to set a light back there.
Yep.
Can we get into YouTube?
Craig,
Yeah.
has Quick solved the problem yet that with the iPhone that you had no control over? Which
It doesn't look like it. I tried it today, and it didn't even go live on Livestream. Well, Livestream said it was live and didn't show anything.
Are these?
I think Livestream is abandoning Quick.
Good placements for.
Oh, they might.
Here for this.
Closer.
Okay,
Yeah.
Doug, just says anything.
Camera for the live stream.
They should cat corner to speak to the end of the table.
Oh, over close to the end of the
Yeah.
table.
Because the lights, the 650s won't throw that far.
Are you gonna live stream this too?
Yeah.
He's gonna live stream it?
No,
No,
one person's, what is these?
he's live streaming.
Okay, so what are you doing here?
We're live streaming to different channels.
You're gonna go to another channel?
Right, he's live streaming with some other,
Oh.
Yeah,
There's media.
There may be,
People
yeah.
will
There
do
are other
whatever they
people.
want.
like ABC, CBS.
I understand.
Different channels.
So we're not gonna use this mic?
Yeah.
No, this mic.
which one?
You're
Yeah,
using
that's gonna
So
go.
we're getting the feed from that mic.
Well, how are you getting it? Where are you getting it from? No, you're not getting it from this
Lights
mic.
over here.
No, not this one. But when you talk, you're speaking to the mic, right?
This mic is going to that malt box through a mixer,
Right.
but nobody's taking that mixer.
What does that mean?
Are you,
Nobody's plugged into that mixer.
Well, let's see.
Well, that's a PA,
Yeah, let's see.
right?
Yeah, we're not using PA.
are you Quick, Craig?
You can keep talking. I multitask.
Whose equipment is this?
What about video editing
University?
programs for things that aren't live streamed?
What was that?
Video editing programs for things that aren't live
My
streamed?
preference,
We need this for the.
and I'm unusual, my preference is to use Final Cut Pro 10 for a lot of reasons.
What was it called again?
Final Cut Pro?
Final Cut Pro 10.
It's a standard editing program. A lot of people use it.
The reason why I like Final Cut Pro 10, it's a geeky technical reason, but I'm a geeky technical person. It handles, when you do a live stream, oftentimes the time code isn't locked to an exact frame rate, or it'll vary. When you live stream, the encoders will often vary the frame rate to prevent dropped frames. As a result, you won't get, let's say, 2997 or 23.98, which are standard video frames. You won't get that. You'll get something that's slightly different. So the result is a lot of editing programs will require you to render. Final Cut Pro 10 does not. I believe Adobe Premiere CS6 also doesn't require rendering, but most other programs do. And if you're trying to do stuff in a hurry, rendering will. I mean, when I do a stream, if I'm going to edit it afterwards, I tend to want it up the same day, the edited version. So I really just, again, it's a personal technical geeky thing. Turnaround time for this, I believe you treat a stream like live news and like high pressure news, meaning you want it turned around as quickly as possible. I also, because I've done VNRs for a living too. VNR is video news release, and generally video news releases have to go out like immediately. It's like as you do them.
I'll move anywhere you want.
Craig, what about the idea about a national green television network using stuff like Livestream? And is it doable? We can get them fed to the satellite companies and have our own channel and that kind of thing? Or is that too big right now?
Could it be done? Probably. See, I believe that the more difficult you make your life, the less likely you'll do it. I would say that, can it be done? Yes. Is it something that, yeah, to me it would be really difficult, and it could end up being very expensive. Live streaming is very inexpensive, and once you record it, you can distribute it a lot of different ways. For example, you can live stream and then put it up on Blip TV, and Blip TV will link to iTunes, so that people can actually download and watch, the recordings.
I think we need to really start exploiting all that stuff that's
Yeah.
doable.
It's actually easy to see. This live streaming is so easy and so inexpensive compared to people. To me, it's easier to do than doing a public access show.
Huh.
Public access show, having done them years back, they're a bit of a nightmare to do. I mean, personally, they're just torture. They're difficult. Their deadlines, you usually have to hand in tapes. Live streaming is all file-based. If you're doing DNRs now, that's file-based. Having to use tape is a drawback. There are companies like Pathfire, they're not cheap, but you can shoot video news releases and they will distribute them nationally. I think they range from starting at $500 to $1,000 on up for just the bare minimum. So, like, normally what I would do if I were doing something like this, I'd be live streaming, recording into the camera. Then when I'm done, I take the camera file, which is the highest resolution, unedited, put it into the computer, edit it, and then FTP, file transfer protocol, a compressed version that they would need for distribution for broadcast.
And who is that'll do? Who will take it and transfer it on?
Well, you deliver it to a company called Pathfire. You can deliver it to companies directly. I mean, we've done things like, I remember at one point when Howie Hawkins was running a few campaigns back, he was a guest on a show on CNN, and they said, "Do you have any footage?" And they said, "Yeah." They gave me the FTP address, and I grabbed files, cut it down because they needed just like 2-minute B-roll, and I FTP'd it to them. Greens have a tendency of waiting for the media to cover us. They do not. They do not show up to your things. They will not show up to your things. You should not expect them to show up to them. What you do is, if you have an event, you record it and you get it to the media. And when I say get it to the media, does that mean a week after the event? That means if you shoot something at 4 in the afternoon, you want them to have it by like 8. So you need to like fly it in, chop it down. They don't want whole shows. They want 3 to 5 minutes, and get it to them. A lot of times you will notify the media for a media release, press conference, whatever, and they won't show up, and it doesn't mean they're not interested, because they have crews and things like that, and budget, and we're not the biggest story. But if you tell them, you can get them file footage. They'll often say, "Get it to us right away." And we've had, what'll happen is that they'll not have a story work out for them, and they'll have 30 seconds to fill, and it'll be your story. You have to accommodate the media. Also, when you do live streams, you notify the media that you're doing it. There may be reporters all over this country that would never have the budget to fly to Baltimore to cover, this is just not at the Democratic Convention, they know. But, they'll sit there on their, evening dinner break, pull up the live stream and watch it. You're handing them the story. That's what you want to do. You want to make this easier for people to access.
Do you want to check and see if the 2 lights will be enough? We've got more. It's really important to have really good lighting, folks, when you're using any kind of camera, of course, but particularly when you're live streaming. because I want it to look good.
Do we have any backlight?
We can do it.
Is that what's needed?
Where would you like? Here or there?
Can you use these?
Can we kill the carton? We may be able to do this without the gels, but that's leaking in.
Can you use ours for backlight?
What for that?
Can you use these lights for backlight too?
Depends what you mean by backlight.
Or you don't
What do
wanna
you,
do
I
that?
don't think we need it.
Oh,
but
okay.
From what I'm looking
Yeah. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we're only about 15 minutes out from the press conference. I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot of media here, but we do have some, so if we could rearrange the chairs, get them back in rows, and at least leave the front row open for the press, so you guys can sit in the back. And if there's still time, you know, you guys can still chat with Craig a little bit.